Well done, Year 10. You've uploaded some absolutely brilliant work over this last half term. Really, your teachers have been so pleased with how well you've engaged. Here's just a small selection of some of the work that I've received. And the majority of it is of absolute, it's just really good quality work, and it shows how much effort and diligence you're putting in to working independently. And as a teacher, it makes me happy about my job. It makes me proud to be a teacher and proud to be teaching you. Blown away. You know, some of this is, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, just the tip of the iceberg, because there's so much being uploaded of really good quality. So I'm incredibly pleased with how you've done over this these last real difficult weeks. Okay, and it's not just really good quality work like this. We've also got some fantastic students who are going above and beyond. A CAD drawing of a plug. Didn't ask you to do that, but how wonderful is that learning? Fantastic. Okay, this question was given to Miss Barnes. Okay, this is A-level physics. It shows real thought. Real thought. Okay, a really interesting observation about gravitational potential energy. And I'm not going to go and explain it in detail now, because I think it could confuse a lot of you. But the short version to this, okay, the question is, why does the gravitational energy change if you dig a hole underneath a ball? Because now it's suddenly got some height. It's to do with how you define what height is in a hand-wavy kind of lie. It's much more complicated than that. It's to do with fields, and it gets complicated very quick. Now, when this student, goes on to do A-level physics, you'll learn about it. I'm actually going to copy this, and I'm going to give it to our Year 12s to try and answer. Okay, but there's been some absolutely brilliant work. Absolutely fantastic. And it makes teachers so pleased with how well you're engaging and how well you're thinking at home. Now, having said that, you have some concerns about everything that's going on. Okay, which is completely understandable. But the first one I want to address is a really good example here. Okay, this is a brilliant piece of work. It's obvious that the student is putting effort into their work. They've got some brilliant workings out, some really good examples of where to get easy marks in your exam. Writing down conversions from kilowatts to watts, from minutes to seconds, showing the full workings out, writing the units. Okay, really clearly. So really good work. But the circles in red are so good to see as a teacher. Okay, this first one, just a little note in the margin, wrong. Or, this is hard, didn't understand this, I'm not sure. Just a little jot, just a little note in the corner. And as a teacher, I'm going to read your work, and I'll find mistakes, and I'll try and support you. But if you do this, it really draws the eye for as a mark. I'll see this and go, oh yeah, it is wrong actually. You need to do this. Okay, in this question, we need a power equation, and in the question it asks for one in terms of energy transfer. You need to use power and energy transfer in the answer. Okay, and I was able, in the feedback, to write that. Hopefully the student got it, and we can go forward. We won't make that mistake again. And we can use that bit of a skill for all the rest of the calculation, so the equation writing answers. Okay, so putting little notes like that in the side of your margin or around your work, really good technique, really good habit to get into. Definitely do that. Okay. The second thing is this big circle in the middle here, an hour. There were 5 questions in this piece of work. The next question would have taken 10 minutes, maybe. As a teacher, I'm more than happy that this student stopped after they'd done an hour's work. It's obvious that they put some effort in. There's another page or 2 behind this. Okay, it's obvious that they spent a full hour working on this. Okay, and then they stopped. Perfect. Okay, it's going to be really easy for some of you to open up let's say physics, open up my video, do the recall task, do the activity, do some research, then go to BBC Bitesize, read the textbook, get your revision guide out, draw a massive poster, do a mind map, to go with it and spend 2, 3, 4 hours on that one piece of work, upload it to me, and I'll go, oh my God, this is amazing, this is fantastic. Look how good this piece of work is. And I'll write that in my feedback and say, this is fantastic, this is detailed, this is brilliant. It's really good. I might even send a little online certificate. Okay? And then the student can then easily do the exact same thing for English, for maths, for Spanish, for DT, for all the different subjects that they'll be doing. And suddenly they're spending 22 hours in a day uploading work, completing work to an impossibly high standard. And it's not sustainable. It's just not. Okay? So if you put in hours really good work and you write a little note to me and you say, this is how long it took, I'm more than happy for you to do that. That's better than spending the 5 hours doing something amazing, because it's not sustainable for your mental well-being. Okay? So once you get to the hour point, stop. Now, having said that, that's an hour's work. That's not an hour where you just play the video, you pause it 2 minutes in, and you go off and you find a pen and a pencil, and then you have a text with a friend, and you watch a different video, and then you come back and you sit down and you write the title, and then you pause it again, you go away and you make a cup of tea, and then you come back and you write out the first question, and then an hour has gone past. That's not an hour's work. That's just an hour. Okay? But if you do an hour's work, write down a little note in the corner saying, this took me 1 hour. Done. Fine. Now your teacher might say, it'd be really good for you to do this X, Y, and Z, or you spent too much time doing question 4 as opposed to question 3, which student had more detail. They'll give you that in their feedback. You're not going to get in trouble for doing a good solid hour's work and producing a good piece of work for you. Okay, so once you get to the hour point, put a little note. Stop. Okay, that's the first big concern that a lot of you have had. Okay, that you're not managing that time effectively. Okay, so use a stop clock, use a timer. Okay, pause it when you're taking a break. Okay, but try and stick to that hour. Now, if you get to an hour and you're like 30 seconds away from finishing a question, finish the question. Finishing at a sensible point is good, but we'll work for that hour. Okay. Now, next thing, the next big worry that a lot of you have is that you're working well on the videos, you're working well on your physics, and you're learning lots. Okay, but you feel that you might be behind in terms of your GCSE, in terms of where you would be if this whole COVID mess didn't actually happen. Okay, and I completely empathise with that worry. I really do, because I had that worry when we first went into lockdown. I really did. I was most concerned about my year 10s. Okay, my year 7s and 8s and 9s, we've got more time to catch up anything that's missing. My year 12s, okay, they're a bit more mature. They can work really well independently already. They've learnt that skill. Okay, my year 12s. But my year 10s, you're the year group that I was really concerned, okay, in the lead up to it. That concern is almost gone. Not entirely. There's still things we need to do, but we're in a really strong position. Now, this is part of a document that the physics team have put together over the last 6 months. And it's part of our curriculum plan. Okay, notice the amazing colours, the EM spectrum, Richard of York Battle in Vain, with violet for the triples. I'm quite proud of that. These are the topics that you need to cover for your GCSE. Okay, for trilogy and for triple. Triple have some extra detail, and they've got an extra topic in space and some extra bits. So like in electricity, they need to do static. Okay, like in waves, they need to do lenses. Now, we've already covered a lot of this in year 9 and the beginning of year 10 before Christmas. Okay, before half term. This is the plan we put together before COVID. So this is what we'd put together at Christmas, just before Christmas. So for half term, so the week after half term, the February half term, where we came back, and it was starting to get a little bit into the news. Okay, this is what we would have been doing. We would have been doing circuits, those are the basic circuits. We would have been building circuits using ammeters and voltmeters, and all year 10 classes were doing this at the beginning of that half term. Okay, we were starting, and some of you have completed some required practicals on IV characteristics, maybe on resistance on a wire or resistance in series. We're starting to do those practicals, and and then we went into lockdown. Now, we are in a really good position, okay, because after Easter, you did brilliant work on your PPE, on your mock exam. Now, in retrospect, I'm not 100% sure if it was wise to actually put the time and your effort into doing that, but I'm really pleased that we did, because we had some fantastic work looking at answering those exam questions and your own feedback on them and marking them. I think for a lot of you it's going to have been very helpful in the long run, even though it took you a lot of time, and we're aware that you had to put a lot of effort into getting that done. So thank you for that. But then we've got investigating resistance to series of parallel, we've got thermistors, we've got electricity in the home, we've got power and energy transfer, the national grid. So if we didn't go into lockdown, we'd be coming back now after half term and we'd be looking at starting energy transfers, so reducing energy transfers. Okay, energy transfers and electricity. So all the calculation work you did, we'd be looking at doing the national grid. We're 2 weeks ahead. We're 2 weeks ahead. Now, we have missed out on some of the required practical stuff. Okay, we haven't done much on investigating series and parallel resistances. Okay, but in terms of a lot of the content, we're ahead. We're in a really good position. Okay, so the plan for this half term, first week back, we're going to look at atomic structure, the development of the atomic model. We're going to look at structure of the atom, then radiation. We're going to have 2 lessons on activity and half-life, 2 weeks of that. We're going to have irradiation and contamination, and then a summary at the end. And we're going to have finished where we should have got to. Okay, by the summer, we'll have covered that content. Now, after the summer, we're going to have to do some catch-up for bits and pieces like the core practicals. And there's going to be some of you that have missed weeks. Through no fault of your own, you weren't able to complete the work. You weren't able to engage in it. And that's fine. That's completely understandable. We're going to figure out a way of catching you up with that. Okay? It will be easier if you stay on top of what we're doing, but we are going to find a way to catch you up. Now, over this half term, each week there will be a YouTube video from yours truly, from me, about these topics. Okay, so the first week back we're going to have atomic structure. At some point, okay, this is when I'm making this video, it's being planned when and how we're going to get some of you back into school. Not all of you will be able to come in, not all of you will be able to be in face-to-face lessons. That's fine. These are going to be there to support you in your science learning, to support you in doing this kind of topic. Okay. As well as that, we're also investigating, the school's investigating in a big way, how we can stream lessons in a little bit more interactive way, rather than just having a recorded lesson, to have it a little bit more interactive. Okay, we're looking at that. You'll know as soon as we know. Okay, how we're going to organise that logistically. Okay, but on the whole, I'm blown away by how brilliantly you've done over these last few weeks, where it's not been easy. It's been hard. And I'm so pleased with all of you. So well done, Year 10. And I shall see some of you very soon, and some of you a little bit soon. Okay, take care of yourselves and take care of your families.